It's a bit of a sad day. I'm going to be dismantling most of the city. Not taking the buildings all the way apart, of course, but um, back down to the individual base plates. All the modular is already gone. Just doing a little bit of restructuring. Might be moving out next year. So just want to have things cleaned up a little. And I really need to get to everything that's underneath here and start to be organizing that a little more, consolidate stuff. So the first step in that is just kind of pack up the pretty large footprint of the city. Um, yeah, we've done a couple videos about it and ran the trains. There's kind of 2.5 main loops of track. So that inner one is the 9-volt loop, and that has the metal plated rails to work with the 9-volt. And then there's two kind of outer ones on the back here. You can see all three. So where you could get three going at the same time around that loop. And then as that comes around, it kind of makes an outer loop, and then that rejoins right there for the RC track. And then on the other side, it rejoins right there. And then there's actually a switch onto the 9-volt as well, and that rejoins behind the colorful house over there. So a couple different loops of track, and we ran the trains. When the bridge is in place, you can run it over to Joshua City. But yeah, a couple different road directions going, kind of that main T intersection right there, right after the railroad crossing. And then the buildings that are left, except for the theater, are actually mocks. So this train station was kind of a work in progress for the past, even back into high school, so like 6-7 years, and just didn't get that finished. The yellow building has been around for even longer than that, maybe 10 years. The theater is actually a slight modification from the 2008 town plan set, and then this last blue apartment building is an extensive rework, probably broken all the way down and back up, of the pieces from Market Street. So maybe the only original thing on that is the spiral staircase down there, and not even that is completely original. So at some point I think I'm actually going to rebuild Market Street from that apartment building, because that's kind of dilapidated. And then we've got Annika and Jessica set up all the citizens here for the going away party. Kind of some last announcements. Be moving out. Might have to emigrate to the other option across the water over there. So last thing to do is kind of pick up these last buildings, and then the road plates, and then the track is actually a couple places I've got it screwed in to the plywood so that it didn't move around too much. So I've got to go around and take those screws out. But that's not every single piece of track, so that won't take too long. And the other thing I did was kind of make a note here of the layout so that I have a reference later. Just the dimensions of all the plywood pieces, so the overall table dimensions. And what I'll probably do is keep the plywood sections so that I could put it back up, but just to have a reference where everything was will be pretty handy, I think. And I took a lot of pictures. Of course, I'll have this video as well, kind of look at all the angles. So the things that I didn't put on the drawing are the two access holes. So there's one right there behind in the loop of track. The other one we actually talked about when I did the modular expansion video. I was just talking how I needed some extra support, so I had to cover up the other access hole. And then I've also mentioned my cardboard solution for the railroad crossing at the curves, because the curve tracks on the Lego system, you know, it's pretty hard to fill this in with tiles. It's really part heavy usage there, so I just took some cardboard, painted that dark gray, and that's a easy fix for that. Never quite got that finished either in there. Oh well, you know, different chapters of life. So it's the last chapter of this city for now. It might continue after an intermission, and it might not. We'll have to wait and see. But thought I would do a little closing video for the whole thing. See you guys.